goes through generations. I know that you will keep your covenant. I'm calling on the God of Moses, the one who opened up the ocean. I need you now to do the same thing for me, for me, for me. Oh God, my God, I need you. Oh God, my God, I need you now. How I need you now. Oh rock of ages, I'm standing on your faithfulness, on your faithfulness. I'm calling on the God of Mary, whose favor rests upon the lowly. I know with you all things are possible. I'm calling on the God of David, who made a shepherd boy courageous. I may not face Goliath, but I've got my own giants. Oh God, my God, I need you. Oh God, my God, I need you now. How I need you now. Yes. Oh rock of ages, I'm standing on your faithfulness, on your faithfulness. Oh God, my God, I need you. Oh God, my God, I need you now. How I need you now. Yeah. Oh rock of ages, I'm standing on your faithfulness, on your faithfulness. It's your faithfulness I'm standing on. Never changes, never changes. You heard your children then, you hear your children now. You are the same God. You are the same God. You answered prayers back then, and you will answer now. You are the same God. You are the same God. You were providing then. You are providing now. You are the same. You are the same. You are the same. You moved in power then. God moved in power now. You are the same God. You are the same God. You are a healer then. You are a healer now. You are the same God. You are the same God. You are a savior. You are a savior now. You are the same God. You are the same God. Oh God, my God, lift me up. How we need you now. How I need you. Still faithfulness. Oh rock of ages, I'm standing on your faithfulness.
Oh God, I need you, oh rock. God, how I need you now. God, how I need you now. You are the same God. Good evening, family. Welcome to another episode of Faith Matters with me, Mnena. It's always a pleasure to come on and to just reflect, to worship God, and just thank God for His goodness, for His mercies, just for God being awesome. I am so grateful for the weekend and the day that I've had so far. I pray that your week has been off to a great start. And we're just here to reflect on how good God has been to us. So again, welcome into the show. This is Faith Matters with me, Mnena. Faith Matters is just basically a platform where we reflect and talk about our daily Christian walk, just how we're being Christ's hands and feet, shining His light brightly for others to see. I do most of the talking, just basically reflecting on just how God has been faithful and how I reflect or react to things from a faith perspective, sometimes not so much from a faith perspective, but just it's not a walk in the park, because when people say, or when they hear that you're a Christian, they think, oh yeah, it's all fine and dandy, it's a walk in the park. But that's not the case. It's not a walk in the park, and I don't know about you, but I'm only able to do it by the grace of God, and I'm so thankful for God's grace and mercy to just keeping me in check, keeping me in line, to just live out my faith. And so basically, I just talk about just how that journey is. I share, just little nuggets here and there. Hopefully, they strike a chord with someone. Hopefully, there's something that you can run with in your life and on your faith journey, on your faith walk as well. So again, thank you to family who are listening or who've tuned in on 89.1 FM, and of course, family who are listening from newseasonfm.com, our Facebook and YouTube family. Thank you for coming on. Good evening, Sister Grace. Good evening, Sister Dolores. Good evening, Yeye. Of course, Akil. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming on. And those who are on, but I can't really tell or see right now, I appreciate you for coming on. Good evening, Laurel. How are you today? I pray that you're all doing well. Please take the time to like and share the broadcast. Invite someone to come in. There might be something that they might take away from tonight, something that will bless someone this evening. So again, thank you for coming into the show. I'm just going to share just a few things tonight, not a long show at all, just a few nuggets from just how my week has been and all of that. God has laid on my heart to share. But before I jump into it, I just want to, again, just remind us that we are a listener-supported station. It's because of your generosity that we are able to do what we do. I just want to say thank you so much for your support, for those who tirelessly support this radio station. I know that I speak for the entire team when I say that we are so grateful for your support, your financial support, and of course, most importantly, your prayers. We really do appreciate that. Continue to pray for the radio station, continue to pray for open doors, and also for our financial support as well. There's just so much that goes into the day-to-day running of the radio station, and we do rely on your financial support to make it happen. So thank you so much. If you've been supporting, please do not rest on your oars. Continue to support financially. If you haven't supported financially, you're just on the fence about it, or just plainly don't know how to go about it, there's different ways to do so. Of course, you can do so through PayPal, which is our new one. But we've actually had it for a while now. But you can do so through PayPal. For PayPal, it's Word Music 47. That's Word Music 47. Word Music, the number 47. So it's 47@hotmail.com. That is for PayPal. Word Music 47 at hotmail.com. That's for our PayPal. And of course, you can do so through Cash App. For Cash App, it's the $ New Season WC. Again, that's the $ New Season WC. You can go straight to Zelle. For Zelle, it's 954-536-1821. Again, that's 954-536-1821. You can also go straight to our website. Just click on the give/donate button right there, and it'll take you right to the page where you're able to give. So our website, again, newseasonfm.com. Click on the give/donate button, and it will take you right to the page where you're able to give. It's so easy to do that way as well. If any of those don't work for you, you can simply just write us a check. Yes, we do accept checks. Send it out to 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. Again, that's 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. And those are the ways that you can give, you can support financially, and just sow into this ministry. So please, we do depend on we rely on your financial support, and of course your prayers as well. So please, please, please continue supporting. We really do appreciate all the support. Thank you all so much. So again, jumping into it, if you're just joining in, this is Faith Matters, so just platform where we reflect, talk about our daily Christian lives, how we bring Christ's hands and feet, shining our light brightly for others to see. What are the challenges that we face in life as Christians? If you're having it rosy, well, yay, good for you. I'm happy. I'm so happy for you. But if you're like some of us who, have our ups and our downs, some days are good, some days are not as good as other days, then this is for you, where we just share, or I reflect on those days, like the highs and the lows and the in-betweens, and just how the joy and the fun that comes along with just being Christian and walking this journey. But jumping into it, it is the 142nd day of the year. We are at 142, guys, the 142nd day of the year, meaning we only have 223 days left in this year. There's only 223 days left in the year. My. May is almost out the door. It feels like yesterday. I feel like I say this all the time whenever I come in here. It's like, oh, I feel like just yesterday I said it was the start of the month. But actually, it does feel that way. It seems like the time's just rolling by really quickly. And so we only have 223 days left. Where are you at? Of course, that's my usual spiel. That's my question to you and to myself as well, because I've been asking myself that question as well. Because you know that when the year starts, we all have dreams, we have aspirations, we set goals for ourselves. We have things that we want to do or we're hoping to achieve at a certain part in the year where we can kind of gauge and see where we're at. So right now at the 142nd mark, where are you at? Can you look back and say, oh, I've grown so much from here, from when the year started to this point, and I'm so happy with the progress I've made so far. That's the idea, guys, to be happy, to be comfortable in the progress that you've made, to appreciate the process, because it's really important for us to appreciate that process, those steps that we're taking towards achieving those goals that we set for ourselves. Again, I'm sure you hear me say this all the time, and I'm not going to tire of saying it. It's not about getting or seeing the gigantic or humongous goals that we've set for ourselves materialize. It's not about that. A lot of us are waiting to see those big things, those big goals that we've set for ourselves, to just really be there before we can actually say, yay, I did it, before we can give ourselves a pat on the back. But I'm of the opinion that when you recognize and when you acknowledge and pat yourself on the back on those baby steps that you're taking or you've taken towards achieving that goal, that particular goal, or those goals that you set for yourself, it just really goes a long way in helping and pushing you towards achieving them, to really getting to that place where you need to get to. So it's important to appreciate the process. So you need to take time. You need to sit down, take stock, see where you're at, pat yourself on the back and say, hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing a good job. If nobody says it to you, just please do say it to yourself. Say it to yourself, encourage yourself, because sometimes you may not find that person who will encourage you, that person who would say, hey, you're doing great, or keep going. So you have to be that person that will encourage yourself. So I'm encouraging you tonight to just take stock, see where you're at. If you've already taken steps towards achieving those goals that you set for yourself, then I think it's important for you to acknowledge it and give yourself a pat on the back. So there's also that other group of people who are still not sure, who have still not started, who are still waiting for the right time to start. And to those people, I say, just do it. I used to be that person. I kind of still am in the middle of that person. I'm not too sure, but I think I'm not fully that person anymore, that person who used to wait for things to be just right before launching anything, for things to be just right before, just diving into something that I really was passionate about. And I think you can never have that right moment. You can never have that 100% clearance to go. I believe that you just need to do it. Today's the time to do it. Today's the day to do it. There's no better time. There's no perfect time than now. So just do it. You start something, and then you aren't the king so long as you go. And I think that's really important for us to remember, because it really helps us. It'll really help us to just really get away from that place, that stagnant place that we're in. It'll help us to get away from that stagnant place that we're in and just push us forward. Because if you just stand there, you're not going to know. A lot of us don't do things. We don't start anything because we are not sure what the outcome might be. Oh, it might not work, or it might. But what if it works? And even if it doesn't work, at least you tried it. So you're going to be able to figure out and see the things that made it not work, and then you perfect them, or you try a different route. You go a different route. And try that as well. So it's really important to just do it. So if you're that person today who is just sitting down, who's saying, okay, I'm just waiting for that right moment. There's never going to be a right moment. There's never going to be that perfect time. Today is the day to do it. Just do it right now. Good evening, Sister Marcia. Thank you for coming on. There's never going to be that perfect moment. You're never, ever going to find that perfect time to do it. And I know I've shared it quite a bit here. When it comes to me and kind of getting things out, I'm always that person who wants to have every T crossed, every I dotted. I mean, my book was done for a very long time, but I didn't have the courage to just go ahead and launch it because I was waiting for the right moment. But the right moment is never that right moment. Same thing with the song, with the album. Like, I was just waiting for that right moment to do it. But I had to talk to myself and say, hey, you got to do it now. Just do it. Because if you don't do it, you're never going to find that perfect time, because that perfect time will never come. And I'm going to leave it at that, because I know you're probably tired of hearing that. But like I said, I'm not going to tire of reminding you, of encouraging you to just do it. So just do it. See where you're at. Pat yourself in the back, encourage yourself, and say you're doing good if you've already started taking steps towards achieving those goals that you set for yourself. And also, if you're still sitting there or standing there or waiting for that right moment, please just go ahead and do it today. Start today. Today's the day that counts. Today's the day to do it. I'm going to leave it at that. Jumping into my holidays, of course, we know I love to do this. The holidays for me this week, that I have to share this week are, of course, Sherlock Holmes Day. I don't know how many of you read Sherlock Holmes novels, but I had quite a lot of. I read quite a bit of Sherlock Holmes. His mystery novels. I love mystery. It's also International Day of Biological Diversity. It's Buy a Musical Instrument Day. I love this one. Buy a musical instrument. I'm surrounded by music, so I don't know if I want to buy a musical instrument. But buy a musical instrument. I just thought that was this will fall under one of the weird categories for me. I didn't think that you would have a day specifically set aside for buying a musical instrument. So while I do love the idea, I just think it falls under the weird category for me. Being You Day. I love this one. There's nothing as important as being you. Be your authentic self. Be you. Don't be someone else. God made just you. He made you unique, and you are you. There's no other like you. So be you. Thrive in who you are. Thrive in your identity. Be proud of who you are. So just be you. It's Vanilla Pudding Day as well. I don't like pudding, so I'm just going to leave it at that. If you're into pudding, then knock yourself out. Tuesday is Library Workers Day, so shout out to all library workers out there. I just love everything that has to do with the library. I am that kind of, I don't know what to call myself, but I'm that kind of person. I'm the one who would go to the library and just hang out if I could. Just go sit down there. It's one of my fun places to go to. I know it's probably not fun for others, but I just love being at the library. It's also Turtle Day. Turtle Day, we have all days for all kinds of animals. So Tuesday is Turtle Day. It's Tidal Track Day. It's International Day to End Obstetric Fistula. When I saw this, it was just really, it struck a chord with me because my bachelor's, which was many, 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 many years ago, my thesis at that point was on reporting, the effects of vaginal fistula, which is a medical condition that happens when young girls give birth and things like that. So looking at this, I was like, oh my gosh, it just brought back so many memories, and I started to think about the research that I did on it. So it was just really that it kind of holds a special place in my heart. Is we really need to work towards ending obstetric fistula. It's Taffy Day. It's Taffy Day tomorrow. It's Brothers Day. So for all brothers out there, hook up with your brothers tomorrow, link up with them, call them, love on them, have lunch with your brother, have dinner with your brother, and share pictures, whatever it is, but show love. It's Brothers Day on Wednesday. It's World Product Day. It's Scavenger Hunt Day as well on Wednesday. It is Aviation Maintenance Technician Day. Aviation Maintenance Technician Day on Wednesday. This one is a funny one. It's escargot day. So a lot of us will hear escargot and go, oh, that's so fancy. No, it's snail. Okay, so snail day. I eat snails, so I'm saying it that way. It doesn't mean like I don't eat it. I eat snails. I love them. But I have a few friends who don't. So it's escargot day on Wednesday. I don't know who loves them. I do. I love it. It's especially when it's really spicy. Oh my gosh, that's one of I've been craving that quite a bit. Can't wait to travel home sometime soon. That would be one of my very first things that I'm going to request to eat. Snails, like the big, juicy, spicy, hot snails. It's International Tiara Day. It's Asparagus Day. So for those who are, veggie lovers out there, I love asparagus. I'm not too crazy about it, but I think I can handle asparagus. I love them. Thursday is Tap Dance Day. So those of you who love tap dancing, it's Tap Dancing Day. On Thursday, it's Geek Pride Day. Take pride in your geekiness. Again, linking that to being you. Be you. There's nothing wrong with being a geek. It's fun. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's cool. So Geek Pride Day. It's Missing Children's Day. It's important to first remember children that are missing, bringing awareness to those who haven't been found. And all of that. It's International Plastic Free Day. International Plastic Free Day on Thursday as well. On Friday, we have blueberry cheesecake. So I love cheesecake, but I don't know about blueberry. But yes, I will just leave it at that. Road trip day. I love road trips. I love to go. I love to take a road trip one day. I don't know. Yes. First lady, I do eat snails. I know you're very picky with food, but yeah, they're delicious too, like with the really spicy, like the big juicy spicy ones. Maybe I'll make them for you one time. I'll take you to Nigeria with me, and I'll show you a few of those stuff. But anyways, it's Week Out Day. It's Heat Awareness Day as well. I know. I just scared our first lady right now because she's very picky when it comes to food and things like that. She's like, "Whoa, you eat snails?" Yeah, and they're juicy too. Tasty. Okay, moving along. Those are my holidays for the week. So those are my holidays for the week. That would just round us off. Pick one and run with it. Of course, like I've been talking about snails, I'm still hooked on my snails. I'm going to try. I don't know if the Nigerian store here has them. I saw them one time, but I really didn't trust them. So I didn't buy I didn't buy it. There was one time, funny story too regarding snails, First Lady. I saw on the news, right? One time, I don't remember exactly when, but they were like, "Oh, there's an infestation of snails here." And I look on the TV. I'm like, "What? What do you mean an infestation?" I said, "I want to eat those. I'm just gonna go cook those right now." They're like, "Oh, we're gonna kill these." I'm like, "No, that's meat. That is meat." Okay. Now you guys know. Moving along. Showing up regardless of how you feel. Again, going back to my initial comment when I started, just how it's not an easy road. If you're having it all rosy and all sweet and juicy on this faith walk, Good for you. But it's not always easy. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard, but we keep pushing. So I want to reflect tonight, just touch a little bit on this and then something else. Showing up regardless. Like, how do you show up? How do you, when you don't feel like it, you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm dragging, I'm groggy, really, I have to when you don't feel like it, when you don't feel like it, when you feel drained, when you don't feel up to it, when you feel as though you're depleted, you still show up regardless. So how are you able to do that even when you don't feel like it? And when I'm saying doing that, I'm speaking actually, we could use it on any, we could relate it to any aspect of our lives. But speaking faith wise now, in terms of your calling, in terms of what you do in life, you're living out your purpose in life. Sometimes we find out that there are days, or there are days when we just feel as though we can't take anymore, we can't go on, but it's still important for us to show up even when you don't feel like it. I think many times we get so stuck up or caught up in our feelings, we get all up in our emotions, all up in our feelings, that we let our feelings begin to dictate, or our emotions begin to dictate how we live out our calling, or how we react to certain situations, or to react to certain people. It's really important for us to recognize that, to know when our emotions start to get the best of us, or when we're just all up in our feelings. Oh, this person or hurt my feeling, or I'm just feeling this certain way and I'm not going to do this. I'm going to speak to that in two parts, actually. So showing up regardless of how you feel is just really important. And I was reminded by this. I was reflecting on this today. I was sitting there reflecting, and I was thinking, because it was that kind of day for me, which I've been having quite a lot of lately, like just really being overwhelmed with so much that's going on. And, just like sometimes you're like, okay, you feel as though you're dragging, you have to pull yourself up and like, listen, I just got to do it, even though I don't want to do it. And that's when you have to speak to yourself. You have to speak to your inner man to say, hey, listen, we got it. Let's go. We got to do this. And when I was thinking about it, when I was feeling the way I was feeling, when I was all up in my feelings and feel like, okay, I don't want to do anything, I thought about Jesus. Like when he was, we're told in Matthew 26:39. Of course, we know the story of his passion and death. When he went into that garden, the Garden of Gethsemane, he didn't. We're told there, just by reading that, we know that he was feeling the weight of this. Like this was something that he was like, at that point, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure. Of course, mind you, he was human. He was fully human and fully divine. So his human mind at that point, and this is me just paraphrasing, because sometimes I do that. Sometimes I have to be very animated with my scripture readings and things like that. And so he's probably thinking, what in the world was I thinking to do this? Like what came over me? Why did I even say yes to the Father, to how did I agree to this? Like, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to go die for these people. I don't want to have to go through the suffering that I'm about to go through. I don't want to do that. So he didn't feel like going through the process of redeeming us. I mean, in that moment, he did not. He didn't feel like it. He didn't feel like suffering. He didn't feel like going through the whole cruel, because he knew what it was. But many times we need to look beyond that. We need to see what the end goal is, what's going to come after that. Again, going back to the thought that I always share often is appreciating the process, looking and walking that process, your journey. And so just seeing what's going to come at the end of your struggle, at the end of your journey, is it really important. So fixing your eyes on the end goal, on the end goal. And so we're reminded in Matthew 26:39 that going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground and he prayed. And he said, my Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will. My Father, he was so like, oh, what was I thinking? I don't want to go through this. This is so hard. I don't want to do this. And he fell. He fell with his face to the ground and he prayed. Like, Dad, like, please, Is there any chance? Is there any way that I can change my mind at this point? Because I think I'm changing my mind right now. Can I just have a can I just, let me take that back. Let me take my yes back, and can we have a discussion again? Because I don't think I want to do this. I don't want to go through this. I'm just, I don't see myself going through this. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. But he said, even after saying that, one thing that struck me was like, yet not as I will, but as you will. Yet not as I will, but as you will. In this we see that even though he was dreading this journey, even though he didn't want to go through all that suffering, he knew what it was. He knew the pain. He knew the hurt. He knew just the torment that he was going to go through, the torture he was going to go through. He still surrendered. He surrendered to the will of the Almighty. He surrendered. And I think we have so much to learn from this. There's just so much that we can learn from this having this disposition of, God, I trust in you. God, I'm giving it all to you. God, I surrender it all to you. You might be tired. It might be at your job. It might be just someone that you might be caring for, a loved one. Whatever it is, whatever that cross is that you're carrying. Sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, many times, we get so overwhelmed with the weight of that cross. We get so overwhelmed with what with our responsibilities, with our calling, and then we find ourselves in situations where we begin to say, God, do I really need to go through this? Can you take this away from me? Can you help me out of this? Can you help me through this? Because I can't go on. I don't see myself surviving this. I don't see myself really getting out or making it out of this, because this is just too much for me. It might be a boss that you're dealing with. It might be a sick child that you have to deal with. It might be just something. There's different situations that you might be going through. But again, whatever it is, we have to remember, we need to emulate Jesus. We need to his surrender, his total surrender and trust to God. We have to remember that, that God sees us. He knows what we're going through, and he created us. I think I've shared this here a while back. When God created us, when he formed us, when he made us, he made us knowing exactly what we're able to handle. He made us knowing exactly what we're capable of enduring. And so whatever you're going through right now, if he didn't think that you were able, if he didn't think you were capable of going through it, he would not have given you that cross. He would not have let that situation come your way. But he understands, because he knows that this is you. This is what you can handle. So the things that I'm going through, and I have to encourage myself with this many times. I encouraged myself with this morning too. Let me just say, throughout the entire day, I've been encouraging myself with that. Like, God knows me. When God created me, Mnena, he said, my daughter, I know you. I know you're able to handle this. I know that you can deal with this. I know that you can survive this, which is why I've laid this on you, because I know you are strong enough for this, to handle this. And so when we recognize that, the other thing is, or the most important thing, is to surrender to his will in that moment where we're like, okay, God, so this is what you've given me. This is the cross that I meant to carry. This is the road that I meant to walk. Give me the strength. I surrender totally to you. Let your will be done and not my will. Let your will be done. And letting God's will just simply means that we're trusting completely, knowing that he's all powerful, all knowing. He sees everything. He sees he sees the end. Right from the beginning, he sees it. And so it's like, he knows exactly what will come out of that. So trusting his divine will to just happen, or to be done in our lives, is what we need to do. And that's what a total surrender just means. It just means complete trust in him. And when we trust that he's able to do it, when we trust that he's able to carry us through, then we're better able to just really enjoy the sweet I would say this the sweet journey of living out our faith, because it is not a walk in the park. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because when you go through, if you don't go through things, if you don't have tests, if you don't have those challenges on the way, there's no way. I mean, there's several advantages of having this. There's no way you're going to be stronger. There's no way you're going to really see what the different aspects or the different dimensions or what God can actually do. You know, if you're not sick, if you've never been sick, you can't tell somebody, you're not going to be able to tell somebody about, I know Jehovah Rapha, I know Jehovah my physician, God my physician, Jesus the great healer. You're not going to be able to tell somebody about that, because you don't know that aspect of God. He hasn't, because you haven't suffered an illness. You have not witnessed that. I mean, you've heard about him healing. You've probably seen someone else that has been healed. But when you experience that yourself, you're better equipped to talk about it, to share it with someone else. If you haven't been in a situation where you were in need, you were in desperate financial need, and God provided for you, or you needed a job and God provided for you. If you've never been in that situation, in that desperate situation, or you've been blessed financially, so you don't have anything to worry about financial wise, then you're not going to be able to tell someone about God who provides. Because to you, it's like, yeah, I already have it. I mean, he gave it to me. So, but if you're in that situation where you've seen God move, and when you surrender to him and just really seen what he's done, then you're better able to just really share and to tell others about what God has done for you. If you haven't lost a loved one, if you have not lost a loved one, there's no way you can really and truly encourage someone else or tell somebody else about God being, the God of comfort, God being the God of peace, God keeping you sane, because if you haven't experienced that, you're not going to be able to tell somebody else that. But if you've gone through that, you're able to sit and say, hey, look at me. I listen. Take it from me. I know that this is what God can do. I know that I'm only sane right now because this is what God did to me, because I didn't think I could survive when I lost this person. But because God is, he's my comfort, he's my peace, I'm able to stand here today. So those are the things, like, you're not going to be able to tell someone, you can't tell your story. You can't really have that testimony to share with someone if you don't go through those the series of tests that you're going through. So it's really important for us. Those are the advantages, a few of the advantages of having or going through the challenges that we go through, because you're able to encourage other people. You're able to talk about God. You're able to tell them and show them what God has done for you. So it makes you stronger. You're able to just draw others to God just by your words, by the testimony that you're able to give out, to share about what God has done for you. So those are just a few of the advantages of having to go through the challenges, and it just makes you just really, it solidifies your faith. It solidifies your faith in God, because if you've been in a place, if you're in a tight corner where you really have no other way out, you've got no one else to turn to, your only option is God. And in that moment, you have to hold on to God. You have to hold on to him and to trust him, to trust that he will pull you out of it, to trust that he will take you and see you through whatever it is that you're going through. So that's just my encouragement today. Like, if you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, just be encouraged that God is walking with you. And if he didn't create you and giving you that the capacity to be able to handle that, you would not have been going through that. But he sees that you're able to handle it, and that's why you're going through what you're going through. So what you need to do now is to say, God, let not my will be done, but your will be done in my life. So we need to get out of our feelings, get out of our emotions, get out of our being stuck, for lack of a better word or phrase, and just keep moving and keep walking regardless of what we're going through. So always show up even if it hurts. Show up even if it just really hurts you to see that person. You really don't want to see that person right now. You don't feel right being in the right room as that person. Still show up. You don't feel like doing or continuing what you started, or the dream that you had. And you started this business or whatever it is, and you're like, okay, it's not going right. It's not going the way I planned or I thought it would. It should be going, or it would be going. So right now, I'm just like done. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have anything to do. I'm just gonna give up. Don't give up. Just keep going. Keep moving. Don't just stand. Don't just take your hands off. Don't just say, okay, I'm done. There's nothing more that can be done. I can't be bothered with this. No, you have to keep moving. You have to keep moving, trusting that through it all, God will walk with you in it. I'm reminded in Psalm 23 is just a psalm that we're all familiar with. The Lord is my shepherd. We know that he's a good shepherd. He is our shepherd. He guides us. Okay. But particularly verse 2 and 3 says, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. Other version says, he leads me beside still waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path. So whatever uproars are going on with you, just remember, we have to remind ourselves that, God leads us beside quiet waters. He leads us beside quiet waters. He refreshes our souls. He refreshes my soul. I know that he refreshes my soul. He makes me lie down in green pastures. This is God's words to us. Like he says to us, he is the good shepherd. He is the one that leads us. He refreshes our souls. He guides us along the right path. But all we have to do is, again, to trust in him, to trust that everything, he is who he says he is. We should trust that he will do what he says he will do. But just having that faith, that complete faith and trust in him, is where we have to stand up and say, okay, this is it. I'm making this decision that I'm going to stand up on your word. I'm going to continue to trust that you will do this for me, that you will open this door for me, that you will see me through this. Because I know that many times we just get really overwhelmed. Again, speaking from experience, I said earlier, if you're having it rosy, that's great. I'm happy for you. Good evening, Sister Joelette. There are many times when we get overwhelmed. We have so many things that we're going through, and you just really feel like, God, really, God, are you there? Like, how do you refresh me now? How will God refresh me in this time where I'm just feeling depleted and feeling like so burnt out? How will God refresh me? So here's what I do. When I start to feel overwhelmed like that, when I feel like, okay, I can't take it anymore, I'm feeling drained, what I do is I get back to God's word. I take a step back. I take a breather. I remind myself who I am. I remind myself. It's really important, because sometimes it's because we tend to forget. And many times we do have amnesia. We tend to forget. So what I do when I start to doubt, or when I start to get so overwhelmed, again, I'm speaking from my personal, just my personal faith walk, my personal journey. I experienced it today. So for today, with me, when I felt overwhelmed today, I had to take a step back. This is after crying to God. I'm like, okay, God, this is what's going on. And I'm like, okay. I was like, wait a minute. Let me take a step back. I've cried to you, Daddy. Let me step back. Let me take a breather. Remind myself, who am I? I had to remind myself, okay, I am Mnena. I am a daughter of the Most High. This is what God has said about me. This is what he has said. This is what is true, and this is what is not true. So you begin to you begin to counter every lie that the enemy is whispering, or those things, or those thoughts that begin to arise in your mind and in your head. you counter them with God's word and God's truth. And that's what I did today. And that's what I do all the time when I start to get just so overwhelmed with things that are going on. It's just to take a step back, take a breather, remind myself who I am in Christ, remind myself of what God has said about me, the promises that he has spoken over me, and just say, okay, this is it. And I know that you are with me. And then I speak those over myself. And I go back into the word, and I get into the word. I get on my knees, and I'm like, even if it means like just laying face down and just crying my eyes out, because sometimes the tears are the prayers that I offer my tears most times as a prayer to God, because there are many times you're going through things and you don't have the words. You don't even want to say anything. You don't have the words. You have no words to speak to God, but for me, in those moments, is why sometimes even your silence alone is an offering. It's a prayer offering to God. And so I offer my tears. I offer my silence. When I don't have words, I'm like, oh, God, I got no words for you, but I'm just here. And so that's what happens. And when you do that, again, for me, whenever I do that, I realize, I sense a peace that comes over me. I sense this a new strength. A burst of energy, a burst of spiritual energy that comes upon me right after I do that. And then I begin to feel like, okay, all the worries that I had, or all those things that were just really weighing me down, tend not to matter anymore. I'm like, okay, so why was I even worrying in the first place? Not that the problem has changed, physically hasn't, but I've changed. My perspective and my mindset has shifted from my physical and seeing what's happening to me in the physical. My mindset has changed. It's just shifted to the spiritual. Like, I'm just operating from a spiritual side now, from a spiritual aspect, and I'm operating as a child of God. I'm operating as someone who knows who they are. And so I just wanted to encourage you tonight with that if you're going through, then that's what I do. Hopefully you're able to apply that and try different ways out for you, whatever works for you. Everyone's different. For me, that's what works for me. And I listen to worship music, just to just really get me into that place of total surrender, that place of, okay, God, I got no words, but there's so many songs to me that just really speak the things that I'm feeling on the inside, but can't really put them into words. So I think Pastor Steve said this, or he says it quite a bit: when words fail, music speaks. So when you don't have those words, when I don't have those words, I let the music speak for me. And if you notice that sometimes when you just hear a song and that's your prayer, you're like, okay, God, that's my prayer. They're saying everything that's going on, everything that's that I'm feeling on the inside of me, and I'm just offering that to you right now. That's me. That's my prayer to you. And so many times we hear those songs, maybe a particular song will come on, and then you from the minute it starts, like, you're just bawling your eyes out. That's a prayer. That's when you know that the Spirit is moving in that moment, and you're communicating with God through those songs, or through the particular song in that moment, even though you don't have the right words to use, or to communicate, or to pray at that time. And so just encouraging you tonight that, just show up, continue to show up. Don't let your feelings, don't let the situation, don't let the emotions control or dictate how you will react or not react on your journey, or to things that happen to you in this journey of faith, but to just completely trust and surrender to God's divine will in your life, trusting that everything that he has spoken over you and spoken about you will definitely come to pass, as long as you stay the course, as long as you hold on to him. Because remember, you cannot do this on your own. You cannot walk this journey on your own. I don't know about you, but I know that for me, I can't do it on my own. I don't have the strength to do it on my own. I don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the emotional capacity to do it on my own. And I rely solely on him in order to get to my final destination. And hopefully you're able to get something from here tonight. And that's what we do here New Season Gospel FM, it's all about that. We're just here to support one another. We're here to help you on this journey of faith, because we know that we are all called to walk this journey together. I'm not just trying to make it to heaven on my own. I really want everyone. I want to take everyone with me. You're just trying to make it. I don't think heaven's going to be fun if I just go there, if I'm the only one that makes it there. No, I want my family, I want friends, I want everybody there. So that's the whole idea of this journey of faith, that we hold each other's hands and walk this path and encourage one another through this means. And so hopefully you're able to run with something tonight and encourage somebody else. I don't know who's out there that might need to hear this word, that you'll be able to say, hey, listen, I heard this today. I thought this, this might be helpful if you're going through this. This is the different ways that you can handle the spiritual drought, that you might say, call that. Sometimes we have those seasons of drought, which this could fall under those times where we're like, okay, I just really feel down. I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like moving on. I don't feel like. That's part of the spiritual drought, that spiritual dryness right there. So how do you refresh your soul? How do you refresh your soul when you find yourself in that situation, in that part, in that place of, I can't go on, I can't move on, I'm done, I'm tired. So again, always remember, hold on to him, trust completely in him and his ability to save and to help you on this journey of faith. So whatever you're going through, he's still God, he's still good, he's still doing things, he's still working in you, he's not done with you, because believe me, if he was done with you, you would not be here. And the fact that you're alive today, the fact that you're breathing right now, it just means that he has a plan and a purpose for you. The assignment he has for you has not been completed, so you're still alive and you're still here. But once your assignment is done, of course, he's going to call you home. So while we're still here carrying and living out our lives, we need to hold on to him and trust completely and let his divine will be done in our lives. Hopefully you're able to take something tonight and just encourage yourself and encourage others as we carry on this journey of faith. On that note, I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight on Faith Matters with me, Mnena. Hopefully you're able to get something tonight. It's just a platform where we reflect. I just reflect just candidly from my personal faith walk, my personal journey. Sometimes I share from my personal journal here, the things that the Spirit lays on my heart and things that I've written down from my reflections, my prayer time I share with you, and just things that happen throughout the course of the week or the day I share with you. So again, thank you for joining tonight. Don't forget, I said it earlier at the start of the show, we are a listener-supported station. It's because of your generosity that we're able to do what we do. So please continue to support us financially and also with your prayers, most importantly and most especially with your prayers. We appreciate the prayers. If you can financially support, we definitely will appreciate that. For those who are already supporting, thank you. Please do not rest on your oars. Continue to do so. The different ways to do so, of course, are Cash App. For Cash App, it's the $ New Season WC. Again, that's the $ New Season WC for Cash App. For Zelle, it's 954-536-1821. That's 954-536-1821. You can also do so through our website. For our website, it's newseasonfm.com. Click on the give/donate button. It will take you right to the page where you're able to give. newseasonfm.com. You can also go through PayPal. We're using PayPal now. So for PayPal, it's Word Music 47. Word Music, the number 4 and 7. So Word Music 47 at hotmail.com. Wordmusic47 at hotmail.com. That's for PayPal. If any of those don't work for you, please write us a check, mail it out to 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. Again, that's 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. So again, thank you all so much for coming on tonight. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the evening. Don't forget to join us tomorrow morning for In His Presence, our morning devotion starting at 6:30 to 7:30. And of course, Pastor Steve's show, Turn Up Tuesday tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then you're going to go have an awesome, awesome day. You're going to circle around back and come in for Speak the Word with Reverend Crescent Hessen at 7:30. So Speak the Word at 7:30 with Reverend Hessen Crescent tomorrow at 7:30. So again, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful night taking us out tonight. Please remember, don't forget that our God is still on the throne. He hasn't changed. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. He's still doing things. So whatever you're trusting and believing him for, know that he will still do it. He continues to do it.
When I danced at the altar, I did